still whatever date I said it was. September 28th, 29th? 28th, I think. But I was just reflecting on the presentation yesterday and how I changed some of the word choices. I hope I don't get in trouble for that, but the word that is just being highlighted today is the word damaged. So a part of the presentation talks about the cycle of violence, the cycle of abuse, and how we debunk the myth that, oh, well, you know, they must like it, otherwise they'd leave. Why a person stays in an unhealthy relationship or abusive relationship. And so one of the explanations is just the pattern of abuse, right? And how over time, depending on whether it's the pattern within the relationship or the patterns, the intergenerational patterns in our families that normalize, right, that this is okay, when there's actually something better. And how if we don't know or have experienced that there's something better, we won't know to expect that or look for that, right? Until it just becomes too much. So I think I read it somewhere about just how damaging it could be, right? But I couldn't bring myself to use that word damaged in the presentation because I just kept thinking, well, what if I was on the receiving end, right? And I heard that it can be damaging. Then I'm interpreting that as, oh, I'm damaged goods if I'm in this relationship, if this is my truth, right? Because, we don't know what lives people have when we're sharing this information. And I thought about my clients, me being on that end of it, right? On the receiving end, hearing how they're viewing themselves, even the clients now that are just extra sensitive to the energy and how impactful it is, right? How much of an impact it has on their ability to function. And because they compare themselves to everyone else, it's harder for them to shake that off. So they feel like something is wrong with them, like they're broken or damaged, right? I know that feeling. I've been there. I was talking to one of my clients today and just helping him normalize the experiences that he was having with being overwhelmed with everything that he was trying to accomplish in one day. And how, he's mentioned it before that he knows that he struggles with anxiety. He's gone from one extreme to the other, where he's completely let loose and been very controlling or to the other extreme, right? It was always about work. So what was being highlighted was this inner knowing that he had about the discomfort that was being evoked with certain activities. And it just reminded me of what I've been experiencing this week, right? In terms of just feeling overwhelmed with the information and how it even got to the point where I was totally rejecting it because I was just like, I just can't. Like I'm getting really triggered by it. Not remembering, right, that is an indicator that I need to do something fun. And that's why when I meditated, the confirmation that I got was, don't even touch it today. Like, go out, have fun. I forgot what I did that day. I think it was on Sunday, where I was guided to not focus on it. Or it was up last week, I think. And so this awareness, right, that our emotions let us know when something is off, when something is off. But because we haven't been taught how to listen to our emotions, we don't know, and we get stuck there, and that's anxiety. We feed that, right? We're sitting in it instead of doing something different. We're sitting in it. So I was explaining that to him. I said, and he already had a plan. Like, he's at the point where he comes to session, he tells me what's struggling, and then his plan. Whereas before it was just, I don't know what to do. So he's definitely making a lot of progress, and we've been talking about that. And so I just referred him back to his plan. I said, well, combine the different solutions that you have. It looks like it's what you're needing. And reminding him, right, your emotions are your compass. They'll tell you when what you're doing. So one of the challenges was, how do I do the everyday tasks that are mundane and not get frustrated about it? So I said to him, well, you do it when it feels fun. The moment it stops being fun, that's your cue to switch it to another activity, right? You don't want to force yourself to do something, because it got to the point that even the projects that he was wanting to focus on, kind of like me, right? The things that I knew I needed to, I just couldn't. And so it's an indicator to just shift your attention for a bit, however that long that bit is, and then come back to it, right? And then, asking questions like, does it have to be everything on that list? Can you let go of some of those things? Or do block scheduling where Monday and Tuesdays Mondays, Wednesdays it's this, Thursdays, Fridays it's this, right? Knowing that still you're plugging in all the fun stuff to stay balanced, because that's all it is. Life is like that. And so it, I don't know how they do it in real therapy. I don't know how they do it in real therapy, but I ain't gonna explore that. I'm gonna tell you that that's normal. Right? That's your normal. That's your baseline. And your baseline, your normal is going to look different than someone else's normal. Right? And it's your baseline. That's your norm. That's the right, your average, until it doesn't become. And that was the other thing too that my clients were struggling with is, yeah, but once I achieve that, then I'm thrown off. Yes, you're meant to be thrown off. You're supposed to be thrown off. Why? Because it's meant to nudge you to get better, to be better, to do something better, right? To strive for something better. That's the purpose of it. To want something better, to get out of a situation for something better, right? But we're not taught to look at it that way. And there's all these other constructs, right, that oppress us to stay there. So I ended up using in the presentation, instead of saying that abuse can be damaging, I said the patterns of abuse can be so much so that they oppress your healthy self. They oppress you. So it doesn't give your healthy self an opportunity to come out. And I'm really wanting to shift this idea of damaged goods to oppressed goods. Like, your goods are still there. It's just being significantly oppressed. And we're just needing to set you free. That's the difference. I feel like that feels different than if I were to say abuse damages you. Because then it's like, well, and not to say that you're not going to feel that. I don't want to minimize that if that's how a person is interpreting their life, because I've been there. I know what it feels like to be broken. But I also know what it feels like to be set free. And so I just, if we're stressing the importance of language in all of these other areas of life, right? With pronouns, with, who we're blaming, right? It's that was something that for me, I felt like I can't bring myself to say out loud to someone who may be in that situation. Yeah. So that's been on my mind this morning, for whoever needs it, I guess. For whoever needs it. And I appreciated what my client said to me. He was just like, you use simple words, he says. You use simple words He's like, I know the formal words because he's the one where this particular client, he's one of the ones where I told him, I'm like, I don't know any of that psychobabble stuff. All the formal words. No. You want definition? Go look it up. I'm not gonna be the one that you tell me some type of formal therapeutic intervention. I may or may not know it, right? But so anyway, so he's just like, you just have a way of saying and explaining things in a simple way that just makes it make sense and feel better. I was like, so I was grateful for my simple words, right? To help people feel better. That's it. I need to go check on my milk for my matcha. Okay. Hey you, my name is Yubi and I use she, they pronouns, and you've just finished watching a clip from my video diary entries where I'm documenting my healing journey as I learn how to navigate my spiritual awakening. I have learned that this experience and process is unique to each and every one of us in whatever way we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of formal mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself as these experiences unfold, and really inviting you along for the ride. Please know that there is a time gap between when these videos post and my real timeline, and also that these clips build upon each other similar to chapters in a book. So if you find yourself lost or confused, feel free to click on the playlist section or the link below, where you can jump around, check out the other chapters, and or catch up. Also, please know that you're more than welcome to check out my website, www.youbecominghealed.com, where I've gathered all of this information, my background, experience, and education to create online self-paced courses to help you on your healing journey wherever you are. You're also more than welcome to check out my other YouTube channel at You Becoming Healed, where I've entertained a podcast, including clips from these courses so that I can make this content accessible to more and more people. Please click like, subscribe, and share this content so again it reaches more people, with the hopes that other people will resonate and connect with the healing journey and the stories shared so that they don't feel alone in their own process. I thank you in advance. I'm grateful to you, and I wish you well.